Okay, Halley Feiffer has appeared in the television series Bored to Death. She played Emily. She's also been in the TV miniseries Mildred Pierce. She's been in feature films The Messenger. She's also been in one of my personal favorites, The Squid and the Whale, which we're going to be reviewing in just a little while. And she's also been in Noah Baumbach's Margot at the Wedding. Halley Feiffer, welcome to the Cutting Room Movie Podcast. Thanks a lot for coming on tonight.
Thank you so much for having me. I'm so happy to be hanging out with you guys via the internet. I didn't know how that sentence was going to end when I started it, and I was like, I better figure out what I'm saying.
Hey, listen, I gotta ask you, a standard industry question or two, but we're gonna have a lot of fun with you, I could tell, because you sound awesome. But I see, the Squid and the Whale was really your first big break, right? As far as your acting career is concerned in film.
Yes, and my last. No, just kidding. Just kidding. Just a self-deprecating joke. Yeah, it was. That was a big deal. Although, when I auditioned for that movie, like, no one knew it would be it would, strike a chord with so many people. Like, I know when I read it, I thought it was really special, and, but I don't think we knew it would do quite as well as it did, because there are a ton of great indies, and, they don't get such a great reception, but that film really is quite special, and the script was so fantastic, but then, his direction was so great, and all the performances were so great, yeah.
Yeah, he seemed, listen, obviously this is a very personal film for him, and, it's weird because I found out that Noah wanted Wes Anderson to direct this film, and Anderson actually put the kibosh on that. He said, no, man, this is something that you should direct.
I didn't know that.
Yeah.
Wait, how did you find that out?
I'm on the internet all the time.
I sat outside.
He's guessing.
The tea leaf said so.
Yeah. But no, it's amazing, that this really was something, that was very personal to him, and he was, with Wes Anderson, who already had, great momentum going, and Baumbach wrote, the Life Aquatic, and they were working together, and then you put this film together, and you get Laura Linney, you get Jeff Daniels, and then you cast like two really great talented kids in yourself and Jesse Eisenberg, and boy, I'm really deeply passionate about this film. Listen, I spent a summer in Long Beach Island in 2007, and I watched this film like 8 times.
What?
While I was on beautiful Long Beach Island, Halley, and what I wanted to do, I was dating this girl. She was done with me. Like, she was done with me by the end of July. She was like, "Listen, I'm not doing this anymore."
You have a Squid and the Whale problem.
Yeah, I did.
You need to go to Squid and the Whale.
I'm over it though. It's fine. It's been 5 years.
Wow.
But so I really.
Well, why didn't she like the Squid and the Whale? No, just kidding.
Because she's you know why? She's a Philistine.
Oh yeah. Good one. Yeah, she's not an intellectual. Clearly not an intellectual.
Tom.
Yeah, so why did it strike such a chord for you? Are your parents divorced, if you don't mind me asking?
Well, yeah, they were done. They were done, I think when I was about probably about 3 or 4 years old, they were done with me.
Oh, wow.
They had me when they were 16 years old, Halley.
Wow, that's crazy.
Yeah,
wow.
So, it's been, and it's getting weirder as I get older because I'm 38 years old now.
Yeah.
And my mom is like 54, and it's just weird because, like, we're so close in age. It's just like, it's turning into it's becoming more and more bizarre as I get older.
God, you have to write a movie about this. Don't you think
Tom.
That's
yes.
great.
Yeah.
Let me ask you, Tom, because I had this with my mom, who's only 20 years older than me.
What?
When you go out with your mom, do people think that you two are an item?
No, that's never happened. Sister, yes, but not.
Is that because your mom isn't hot?
No, my mom. No, my mom. Max, my mom. No, she's very attractive. She never had a problem, with having male companionship around, somewhat, overbearingly when I was a kid. But no, she's a very attractive woman. She still is to this day. She's in her 50s. She's still vibrant and full of life. My mother.
What's most attractive about your mom, Tom?
Dude, you're not doing this. We got Halley Feiffer here. You're asking me these.
Halley Feiffer rolls with all of it. So when
Yeah,
mom gets up and walks across the room.
You know what I think Halley really wants to know about, though? Max, what about your mom? What's the hottest part of your mother?
Well, wait, I want to ask. Wait, I don't know who's who yet, but wait, what the person who asked about.
Coming after you, Max.
Do people, Max, do people think you and your mom are an item? That's my question.
Yeah.
Yeah, I could tell from your and I could tell from how lonely you sounded when he said no.
Oh, my mom was punishingly hot and still is, I would say, but she has a tremendous rear shelf, and I would get so angry. Because we would be out to lunch or out to breakfast or, just out to whatever. And you two, you guys look like you love each other. You guys are, and I would get so angry at 15 when my mom was 35 and rocking her vibe and looking so awesome. And she had this newly Californian glow. I would seriously say, no, that's my mom. And I would be such a dick about it.
Me too. I was uncomfortable. My mom would, she dressed slutty. Seriously, she would dress really slutty, and it was so uncomfortable. It's and she used to drive, we were very poor, she used to drive, this orange Pinto, and she'd pull up, she'd pick me up from Little League, and, she'd pick me up in a fucking orange Pinto with, fuck me boots on, and it was torturous.
That's so hot.
Wow. But then
Dude,
all your friends were probably really jealous that was your mom.
Oh, Halley, all my friends, I want to fuck your mom.
And now it's starting it's starting to make sense to me now that when I was 10 years old, there were 14 and 15-year-old kids. They wanted to hang out with me. And now it's making sense.
Yeah, it wasn't about you and your
it was about my hot mother.
Yeah, it was about
she could
mom
show
the
them.
dazzling rear shelf.
Oh my God.
She could show them so many things.
My mom, she danced too. She stripped for a little while too.
What?
To support us.
Okay, that's called burying the lead.
I hope your mom doesn't listen to this show, Tom.
She doesn't listen to this.
Haley, we told you there was...
My mother just joined Facebook and is threatening to. So, Max, in case my mom is listening, you should ask the most disgusting question you possibly can right now. Before I start talking about my parents' divorce on the internet.
Right. Jenna?
Yes.
Have you taken a booty butt wipe to your backside today?
Well,
how dirty is your booty hole?
Well, Max, I mean, given the information I've shared with you, I would say it's fairly clean.
It's very clean there.
She sounds confident, Max.
What?
She sounds confident.
I think she's clean and enjoying a glass of wine.
Yeah, she's not bullshitting you.
It's a mug of wine, but yes.
Yeah, are you guys all wasted right now?
No, not at all. I'm completely sober.
Yeah, me too. I suddenly felt really left out.
Well, it's funny you say that, Halley, because I was just maybe I should start drinking tonight. And I wasn't planning on doing it, but this whole situation right now is so intoxicating that I might as well just crack open something.
You mean
right?
just thinking of your mom's rear shelf, you're like, oh my gosh, so what would make this even more exciting? Bottle of Pinot. Yeah, I identify.
Yeah.
So your parents were artists, weren't they?
Yes, it's funny. I was thinking, I experienced the opposite thing where I'd be out with my dad and everyone would be like, "Oh, your great grandpa's so cute." I'm like, "That's my dad." That doesn't have to do with him being an artist. He's just so old. So no one thought he was. Although I guess now if we're out, people think I'm like his 20th trophy wife or something. But yes, they're artists. Yeah, my dad is a cartoonist and writer, and screenwriter, playwright, children's book author, and my mom.
Halley Feiffer's daughter?
Yes.
Did you guys know this?
Yeah. I was bringing it up. I was getting there.
Did she just sell her dad? Well, my dad's an artist.
He's just a cartoon.
What? Carnal knowledge? What? I mean, I'm sorry. What are we talking about here?
Carnal knowledge. Yes, carnal knowledge is in his oeuvre.
So your dad is real old.
So old. Yeah, so old. Yeah, and it's actually funny you talk about carnal knowledge because there's a shot in The Squid and the Whale that Noah, I remember, told us that he based it on a shot in Carnal Knowledge. It's this aerial, I don't even know if you can call it that, aerial shot. But it's like, I think it's Jesse's on this white bed. It's supposed to be my character's parents' house. It's like we, just had a sexual interaction and it's like, and the shot is from above, and it's him lying back on the bed, and Noah was really specific about that shot because there's a shot of Jack Nicholson in Carnal Knowledge that looks almost identical to that same white bedspread, etc. And it took a really long time to set that shot up because it's actually very complicated, mechanically with the camera. But he was really intent on doing that, so that was interesting.
How was it making out with Jesse Eisenberg?
Oh, so many different questions. Wait, what were they?
How was it making out with Jesse Eisenberg?
Not my question.
Such a girly question.
Yeah,
please, just let us go for a second.
We didn't really even make out because the whole point of in the movie is that it's like the most awkward, awful, sexual experience ever, where we are both so insecure that we don't even know how to make out, and we just sort of horribly grope at each other in the sexy way possible. So I think it was pretty much like that. And he and I had a very, we're good friends while shooting that, and still are. So it's a very, whatever, just not a.
So the film was obviously based, it's semi-autobiographical about, Noah Baumbach's life, and he obviously based your character on a character in his own life. Did you ever come into contact with, his first love, or did you ever talk to her? Did you base your character on Noah Baumbach's first love there?
No, I have no idea who the character's based on, actually. I think it was maybe based on, several different women. Mm-hmm. I actually have no idea. Maybe he talked about it and I don't even remember. But, no, I didn't base that character on anyone except for kind of, I identified with her in many ways, and I think I got that part just because I remember going to that audition, I was like, this is the easiest audition I've ever done. For some reason, it just felt so natural. I think also because he's such a good writer that you don't really have to do much acting. I felt like it would be kind of hard to screw that up.
Well, you guys also have similar backgrounds. You're both from New York, in the Brooklyn, Park Slope area, and, obviously have artist parents, because his parents were very, cultured and very...
Yes.
Right, so you probably hit it off right away with Noah Baumbach. So I was thinking maybe that the character was based on yourself, perhaps. Did you know Noah before you made the film, or? No,
I didn't, and I just auditioned for it, just the way I auditioned for anything else, which is I just got the audition from my agent, and at that time I wasn't getting sent out on a lot of auditions. I was getting sent out, I think, literally at one audition every 3 months or something. I was in high school mostly focusing on that. So yeah, I didn't know him. I didn't really know his work. Then I did become interested in his work, and I watched all his films, and because a lot of people, thought Squid and the Whale was his big break, which it wasn't. He had done.
No, he'd done a few
films.
things.
Yeah, including Kicking and Screaming, which is a total cult classic, and.
Right. Yeah, he did that 10 years earlier. He
did that when he was, I think, 24 years old.
Wow.
Which is, infuriating for those of us who are competitive with everyone. But I I just met him at the audition, and I feel like we got along well, and
obviously you definitely got along well. I mean, you also were in Margot in the Wedding, which
he brings her back in Margot at the Wedding too. Yeah.
Yeah, that was really fun too. Yeah.
What were your scenes like with Jeff Daniels?
They were great. I really liked working with him. This is a funny tidbit. My mom and Jeff Daniels' wife were roommates in the hospital when I and his son were born.
Whoa!
Isn't that so weird?
That's wacky.
It seems like you were just supposed to be in this movie.
I know. I know. I think that's fate. And so that was so funny. I'd been told that as a child, but I hadn't really ever met him or spent time with him. And
did they keep in touch?
Yeah, a bit. I mean, they live in Michigan, but yeah, a bit. He and his wife are so lovely and kind, and so that was cool. And the first scene that I shot in the movie was the scene I remember really clearly. That's like him and Jesse and I we go out to a restaurant after seeing this movie Blue Velvet together.
Right. That's awesome.
It's so great.
Pay your share, right?
Well, yeah, exactly. That was the first scene that we shot, and I think that I kind of wonder if that was the first scene in the whole movie that was shot, but I don't remember. And I just remember having just such a good feeling and feeling like this is going to be a really good movie because he was just so good. I hadn't seen him do a part like that before. It was such a departure for him, and now he's found kind of a niche in playing these narcissistic, angry, wounded men who are still kind of lovable while at the same time being repugnant.
Right.
Like on the newsroom right now. Yeah.
He does it so well. He's truly amazing. I was watching a film called Smart People, which was
I saw that.
Where Dennis Quaid is kind of playing like a Bernard Berkman type character. And listen, I love Dennis Quaid, but Daniels, there's just something really more deep that Daniels is doing with that type of character. Like he's that good, and like it's funny too because I read that Bill Murray was supposed to play Bernard Berkman in this.
Yes, I was gonna ask if you guys knew that. Yeah, he was. Yes, and it's funny you were asking about the audition or whatever, like how I got involved. I auditioned when Bill Murray was attached.
Wow.
And then I didn't hear anything about it. I didn't get a call back or anything, so I assumed like everything else I auditioned for that I don't hear about that it had been made with someone else, and I just never heard about it. And then like a year later, they're like, they want to bring you back in for that, and now it's Jeff Daniels, which was so cool because I really loved it, and I was sad that I didn't get the part.
Right.
And it's just a great example of, I don't know, like you never know what's best for something. Because when I read it originally and I heard Bill Murray's voice in it, I was like, oh, that's perfect. But then, Jeff Daniels was so brilliant. And then, Life Aquatic, like Bill Murray plays such a different part, but it's sort of I don't know, I feel like, especially with the Wes Anderson as a producer, like it would have been maybe redundant with Bill Murray in that part because we had just recently, before that, seen him in Rushmore in a sort of curmudgeonly father role.
Right.
Yes.
Yeah, and no one had seen Jeff Daniels do that kind of thing, so it was quite exciting and fresh, I think.
Yeah, well, it seemed to have worked out for everyone because Jeff Daniels gets Bernard Berkman, and then Murray goes and works with Jim Jarmusch doing Burke and Flowers instead.
Right,
so,
right.
I get, as an audience, I mean, I think we all made out. On those decisions. Man.
Yeah.
Max, what do you got for Halley?
Well, I have two questions. One is really inappropriate, and one is kind of heartfelt.
Oh my God.
So which one do you want first?
Let's start with
heartfelt.
Let's start with heartfelt.
Yeah, let's start with heartfelt.
Because at least we'll get that answer, Max.
I'm very touched. I'm very touched by your talents. I'm also touched by your relationship with your father, and I want you to know that his Popeye was the first film that changed my life, and I was 10.
Oh my gosh.
I was wondering if you sat on his lap, if you were his little sweepie when he wrote that script.
Oh my gosh, that's so sweet and funny for a couple reasons. One, yeah, when I first saw that movie, I was like, why the fuck didn't they cast me as Sweet Pea?
Ivan Hurt can go get bent, and I'm not looking up IMDb. I know it by heart.
No, you don't. You really do?
It's obsessive.
No, it was an obsession. I'm telling you.
I don't even know whether to be like impressed or like a little scared.
I don't.
He had Max is on another podcast. He had Paul Dooley on the show. They were singing.
Oh my God! Wow.
Yeah.
No, I'm a hardcore Popeye guy. Believe me. Dooley was on the show forever and wouldn't shut up.
Great.
So all credibility here. I swear.
Well, because that film was actually shot way before my time. I mean, you know, Mr. Popeye Trivia. That film was shot when, in the 70s?
1980 it came out, I think.
1980, yeah. So
How old are you?
In 84.
You were born in 84?
Yes.
Oh, shit.
So I just missed the whole boat. I missed the whole Popeye Sweet Pea boat. But, wait, what was the question again? Did I sit on his lap? Was it? I don't remember that really.
Yes, you wrote it. But let me ask you something, because I'm also a cartoonist myself, not like your father, of course. Do you enjoy his cartooning, or do you look at it as chicken scratchings?
Oh, no, I think it's absolutely brilliant. I think he's totally brilliant. I love his work.
Dance.
Yeah.
Okay, don't his lines dance?
Yeah, they're beautiful.
Do you draw?
Oh, God, no. Amazingly, I think I'm a pretty not talented visual artist. I've tried to do it a little bit, and I think I could be good if I devoted time to it, but I'm just way too talented at so many other things that I just don't have the time for that. Oh, no, I'm half kidding. I'm being tongue-in-cheek, but no, I'm not. I was never a great visual artist, but I am a writer, and I do write a lot.
What do you write?
Well, she's got a movie.
She's a playwright.
And she's got a movie coming out called He's Way More Famous Than You.
Yes.
With directed by Michael Urie, Ben Stiller's in it. You play yourself in that, right?
I play I play a character named Halley Feiffer. Jesse Eisenberg's also in it, playing Jesse Eisenberg. Ben Stiller's in it, and it's about...
And the Karate Kid.
Yep, and we make a lot of jokes about that. Yeah, and it's about a young actress named Halley Feiffer who can't stop talking about how she was in a movie called The Squid and the Whale. I'm kidding. That's what it's about. And I keep, and I have a severe drinking problem in the movie, and I keep making drunken, pathetic phone calls in bathroom stalls to Jesse Eisenberg, telling him how great I'm doing, and he's like, "Please stop calling me. You're making me really sad." And I'm obsessed with Ben Stiller.
Halley, what is it about this Eisenberg? Why is everyone into this Eisenberg? Why?
Because I think he's a really great actor. I don't know. I think he's.
Is it true that he poops Godiva chocolates and pees champagne?
Wow, Max! I think I've heard this line before.
Radar, but I guess I'll just blow his cover. Yeah, that's true.
See, Max, I told you it's true.
He's a really good actor, and he's a wonderful person.
No, I'm going to tell you something.
Yeah.
We had to review 2 films with that Eisenberg, and I wanted to hit myself in the head. But you know what? It was because of these 2 films that I discovered that I really like him, because I hated Land and I hated The Social Network, and these 2 films, he blew me away in these.
Yeah.
And I'm very angry because he's young and he's gorky, but at the same time, I can tell he has sex appeal to chicks, and I'm an actor. You know what I mean? It's my shit, Halley, not anyone else.
I so get it. I made a joke earlier about competitiveness, and that can really be a powerful feeling. But I think he's really smart and he's a really good actor, and he's a great writer. He's also a playwright, and he's really funny, and he's an essayist. He writes really funny essays for McSweeney's, and But I totally understand, feeling like, you want to hate someone like that, but he's a lovely person too, so it's hard to hate him.
Now, Max, you have faith.
Max, just don't ever meet him, and then you can keep up the ruse.
Yeah, I was going to say, if you met him, you'd love him. Yeah.
What's your other question, Max?
Jesse Eisenberg's Tony you're canceled. What? Oh,
what's your other
I was wondering if Halley has ever been in a real situation where she made a fella unfortunately prematurely ejaculate.
Oh dear. Oh, that was the inappropriate question. Oh my gosh. No, but I did do that to my cat.
Wow. Awkward.
Oh God, I don't know.
That's not a jokey question, Halley. You have to know that.
What do you mean? Oh, you really want a serious answer?
Yeah, I'm not doing a bit. I'm sincere.
Huh.
Your feminine powers never made a dude burp his chowder against his odds.
I don't know how to answer that because I'm definitely not gonna actually answer it. So I'm trying to think of
You're just acting on the third plane.
Me? Yeah, I'm so ironic. I'm just
You're not really answering our questions.
What? Yeah, my dad's not even Jules Feiffer, and I love it. This was all a hilarious game. This isn't even Halley. This is her personal assistant. I'm just doing a really good imitation. God, I don't know. Yeah, I don't know how to answer that question. I think
all right, let me ask you this.
Kind of my answer.
Dear.
Yeah.
Pardon my phone.
I'll answer a different inappropriate question. I really like inappropriateness.
Does male semen disgust you?
Oh, no, I take it back. I don't want to answer inappropriate questions. All right, I will put it this way. All right, here's a tangent. One time I had to go get one of those tests where you go to the hospital and they make you drink all that white zinc stuff so that they can then do an X-ray of your intestines. Do you know what I'm talking about?
I have never had that happen.
What? You guys don't know what I'm talking about? You know what I'm talking about.
I'm surprised Max doesn't know what you're talking about.
Yeah, you know
Max.
You have intestinal problems. That's kind of personal. But it's okay. And you go and they make you drink literally a gallon of that white chalky stuff. You know what I'm talking about?
Oh, you mean if you're having a colonoscopy?
Yeah, but it wasn't a colonoscopy. It was an X-ray. But they need you to drink the white chalky stuff so that they can see where it's. I obviously don't really know what I'm talking about, but they can see.
It's a laxative, right, Halley?
No, it's not a laxative. It's a dye or something, so they can see where it's coating your intestines and where it's not, so they can see if there's fissures or something. I don't really know what I'm talking about, obviously. What I'm trying to say is I had to go with my mom. This was 5 years ago, and they said drink all this stuff, and I took a couple sips and I started crying. I was like, I can't do this. She was like, what? It doesn't taste good? What's wrong? I was like, it's not that it doesn't taste good. It's traumatizing. And my mom was like, is it because you feel like you're being forced to drink a gallon of semen? Of a man.
All right, I can live with that.
I was like, that's
now is your colon okay? Is your intestines okay?
It is okay. Yeah, that was a couple years ago, and I was having health problems.
How many boom booms do you drop a day?
Oh my gosh. I'm not answering any of these questions, you guys. I just if I knew you a little better, perhaps, but I'm perfect and I don't do anything
Absolutely.
like that.
Hey,
all right,
Joseph,
fair enough.
Joseph, do you have anything else?
I was
Halley?
just going to talk to you, Halley, about your film. He's way more famous than you, but you kind of talked about that a little bit. But I mean, it's interesting to me. It's sort of a trend going on where people are sort of blurring the line between fact and fiction, and you're obviously writing yourself into the film. How does it work for you personally, and where is that line? I guess we were sort of flirting with that line here with our line of questioning a little bit about how much you're actually putting in from your personal life into your professional life and your art. How does that process work?
It's a great question. That film, from the beginning, my character's name was Halley Feiffer, and the movie that I keep referencing was The Squid and the Whale. And several people who we showed the film to were like, "This is great, but we would suggest you change your character's name and you change the name of the film." You know, I just recently saw Sleepwalk with Me. Did you guys see that?
No.
Do you know what it is?
It's the dude from NPR. He's in IFC. He's playing an IFC for a whole bunch of weeks.
It's really good. But so his one-man show was called Sleepwalk with Me, and he played him. He was himself, basically.
And like he almost threw himself out the second window of a La Quinta hotel or something like that.
He did. He sleptwalked out of the window of the La Quinta hotel.
Right.
But he, in that movie, he changed his name to Matt Pandemiglia or something like that. I think that was it, which I thought was so interesting. You know, I still don't really understand why he did that. I guess just for the sake of whatever the narrative. But I really wanted my character to be Halley Feiffer. I don't really 100% know. I just thought it was much, much funnier and much darker if I'm, pretending to play myself.
Well,
but,
sure. Yeah, I mean, it goes to the what Charlie Kaufman was doing a few years ago with Spike Jonze, right? With
Absolutely.
Adaptation.
Which is one of my favorite films. Yes. And that was a very funny but also very dark film, and ours is both those things too, probably a little less dark. But there's a ton of examples of that. Actually, Ben Stiller has done that quite a fair amount, on extras.
And he's in your film. He's in this film.
He plays Ben Stiller in the film.
So awesome. Yeah. He's awesome. And his directing too is very underrated, and it really is.
Yeah, he's extremely smart and
from The Cable Guy to Tropic Thunder. I mean,
oh my God, yeah.
Yeah, he is a really, really good filmmaker. Really good.
He is, and, he's so funny, but he's also, those films are very dark.
Right.
I think, Cable Guy and Tropic Thunder, that's, they both did very well, I think, box office-wise, but, which is, I love them both because they're, really dark humor. The Cable Guy's,
they're statements. Yeah, they're statements. Yeah. And that's, that's what I love about him. And his performance in Baumbach's Greenberg too it's outstanding. Yeah,
he's great. And I met him, he really he got involved with the movie because I had just been working with him on Broadway in The House of Blue Leaves, with him starring with Jennifer Jason Leigh and Edie Falco. And he was amazing in that. That was a huge price, basically on stage for 2.5 hours, singing, playing piano. He had to learn piano for the part. And he was wonderful. He's so funny and so devastating and wonderful. Yeah.
Well, that's great.
You have another film coming out too, called Lucky Dog. You work with Paul Giamatti. What's that like?
Yeah, that film. It's really, really interesting. I'm really excited to see what it's like. That's Paul. It's a really funny premise. It's Paul Giamatti and Paul Rudd are Canadian. Paul Giamatti plays an ex-con. I don't want to give too much away, but it's all in the synopsis. But he plays an ex-con. He gets out of jail and he goes. And he finds that his wife has left him for his ex-best friend, who's Paul Rudd, and Paul Rudd is about to go to New York to try to make a living selling some Christmas trees, Canadian Christmas trees. They're both totally broke, and Paul Giamatti basically emotionally blackmails him into letting him come sell the Christmas trees with him and split the profits because he's like, well, you're fucking my wife, it's the least you can do. And I play this, this morally questionable young woman who it's possible that Paul Rudd is involved with on the side. I'm really excited about that. It's written by, I think it's the first screenplay from this really great playwright, Melissa James Gibson. And it's directed by Phil Morrison, who directed one of my favorite films of the last 15 years, Junebug.
Oh yeah, it's a great
film. Yeah, and it's a great cast and a lot of great New York actors, and I think it'll be really fun. And the two Pauls were doing these very funny, subtle but funny Canadian accents, which I think is funny.
Yeah, I would imagine Giamatti, because I mean he does serious stuff, but he's really you could tell he's got to be really funny off screen too.
Yeah.
Off camera, he's got to be really just.
He
just seems like really smart and funny.
I think he is. Yeah.
He also played himself in a film not too long ago. I think it was called
Cold
Souls.
Cold Souls.
So I have that film, Joe. I haven't seen it yet. I do want to check that out.
Oh well.
Yeah, he played Paul. Oh my God, I forgot
Yeah, he
that.
did. Yeah. The fourth wall is broken.
Yeah, the whole point was that he was depressed and he tried to switch souls. Oh yeah, he couldn't play a Russian part. He was like doing a Chekhov play, and they were like, "Oh, you don't have the
Right.
Russian agitas to play the part," so he swapped souls with like a Russian, head.
No. He was playing Uncle. He was in Uncle Vanya,
Oh,
right?
it's Uncle Vanya.
Yeah.
Right. And then he wasn't. He was getting too emotionally attached to. Like it was just devastating him too much emotionally to play.
Oh.
So then he like made a soul. He got a soul. He bought a soul or something to put into his body that was wasn't gonna affect him so much. And then
it's a great premise.
it is such a great. It's a really an underrated film.
And also, he should totally play Uncle Vanya.
Right.
He'd be so great. He's perfect for that part.
Right. Wow, what was the great movie Vanya on 42nd Street?
I love that. I love that. It's so funny. I just wrote an article in a book that was just published that's like it's called Q-Tips, and it's like it's unusual lists of movies, and I wrote the list of films, of recommendations of films that are based on plays, and that was my top recommend. That was the first one that came to mind.
Yeah, Vanya on 42nd Street is a great.
Yeah.
Who directed that film? I forget.
That was Louis Malle directed it.
Right.
But Andre Gregory directed the play within it. So in a way, it was both of them, because Andre Gregory is this incredibly legend of a theater director, and the way he works with his actors, which is, I couldn't believe it. I found this out because I met with him a couple of years ago about possibly doing something, but he works with his actors for like years on something without any plan of a production. They just and it's usually him and Wally Shawn and whoever else, and
right, it's like coming at
it. Yeah, and they just meet in a rehearsal room for like 3 years and just play with it. So that's what they've been doing already with Uncle Vanya, and then Louis Malle came in and did that, and they just are. I think they're in post production now for Henrik Ibsen's The Master Builder, and Jonathan Demme directed that, and that's also Wally Shawn.
Oh, that's great.
Wow.
Yeah. I mean, going to making films out of plays and really actor-oriented directors goes right to the heart of what we're talking about tonight. The Squid and the Whale and Ordinary People. Yeah. They're both really could be almost plays, and it just goes to show you, especially with like Uncle Vanya, like you don't need special effects or crazy action sequences. The human drama is fireworks enough.
That's the kind of films I am drawn to. Yeah.
Absolutely.
Well, Halley, I want to thank you, first of all, for coming on tonight on the Cutting Room Movie Podcast and talking to us. I mean, you sound like you're having so much fun, and, you're doing such great work, and it's honestly like a real treat for me, and I'm sure for everyone else to talk to you about what's going on. And I really, sincerely, I want to wish you the best on he's way more famous than you. I really look forward to checking it out, and I'm so glad that your words are being put up on screen. I think that's just fantastic.
Oh, thank you so much. Well, thank you so much for having me. I was so happy to be asked, and I'm so happy I got to talk with you guys. You seem like lovely people.
Thank you. And, you seem like such a big, a huge fan of film, Halley. Let me just ask you one last question, because our theme tonight is dysfunctional families, and like Joe said, we reviewed Ordinary People earlier. We're about to review The Squid and the Whale. Barring those two films, what's one of your favorite dysfunctional family films of all time?
Oh my gosh, I'm so happy you asked me this. Because one of my favorite films, when people ask me what my favorite films are, this is the first one I always say, And it happens to be about a dysfunctional family, which I love dysfunctional family things.
Me too.
I love them because my family's so functional that I just like exploring another world I don't know anything about. But a film that made such an impression on me as a child that I still love is this film called Unstrung Heroes, directed by Diane Keaton, starring John Turturro, Michael Richards, who's on my TV right now in a Seinfeld rerun, Andy McDowell, and a couple other great. Have any of you guys ever even heard of that movie?
Don't Turturro and Richards play hoarders?
Michael Richards,
yeah. They play hoarders. No,
yeah, I remember those
not
two.
A hoarder. He's not a hoarder. This other great actor whose name escapes me right now plays the other hoarder, the other uncle. But basically, it's based on a memoir.
Maury Chaykin, I think.
Yes, yeah, and it's based on a memoir. Although I think there were a lot of loose interpretations, but it's based on a true story, which is this young boy. His mother, who in the movie is Andy McDowell, was dying of cancer. His father's a mad, brilliant, but kind of aloof, absentee parent scientist. And he is so traumatized by his mother's cancer and so angry that he decides to go live with his two uncles who are hoarders. And it's very sweet and very sad and very funny and very sad. And, but the saddest part is a couple of years ago I was talking about this film to someone and they're like, oh yeah, those are the uncles who died. One of them died because he was crushed by newspapers and they were found because the neighbors smelled their bodies like for 2 weeks. I was like, that wasn't in the movie. I didn't know that part because I never read the memoir. Actually, I should read it. But I love that movie, and Diane Keaton is a wonderful, wonderful director and did such a beautiful job with it. And it's about a dysfunctional family, but it's very sweet and soulful and really well done, I thought.
Yeah,
you don't have any time to date, do you? Because you're such a head. You're such a brain. All this passion and all this chit-chat. Who's talking about unstrung heroes?
I know.
You're not dating. You're all about curling up with like a warm cup of something and like getting all into your brain. Like you don't enjoy yourself, do you?
Oh my gosh. That's such a funny question.
Hallie, you gotta relax and have fun. You're so into all this wonderful stuff. But where's the darkness, baby?
Where's the what? The darkness?
Yeah.
Oh my God! If only you knew, I'm gonna get off the phone with you guys and like do my third suicide attempt of the day. No, it's just amazing. I really do.
I'm waiting for you to talk about how great Woody Allen is. I mean, come on.
He's great.
That's funny.
I would like to talk about Woody Allen.
Yeah, I'll talk. I know she brought up Diane Keaton, and we're talking about dysfunctional families. And Hallie's mind, I'm connected to it because I'm like, well, Diane Keaton, she directed Unstrung Heroes, but she starred in Shoot the Moon, which is a great dysfunctional family movie
I've never seen that.
With Albert Finney. Oh, check it out, Hallie. You'd totally appreciate it. Yeah, with Albert Finney and Peter Weller. Yeah, it's so good.
You've got like a space heater and jazz going. I mean, I'm not scared.
That's so funny because I do have a space heater and I love it so much.
Max needs everybody to be as suicidal as he is, I think, is what
I so have been there, Max. You are not alone. Yeah, no, you are not alone. And, but yeah, that is funny about the dating though, because I was thinking that today.
Who isn't great? Give me one person who's not so great. Come on.
Oh, because I'm so positive.
Just give me someone who's a pain in your ass. Someone who's like a fucking bee sting in your...
Yeah, like a cousin, like something,
Oh, well, yeah. Do you mean like an artist, or do you mean like a...
Whoever is pain in your ass. Give me someone.
Oh, my gosh.
Someone you can't...
You can feel free to say Max Cook.
That would be my answer.
No, I identify with that.
Oh, that's true.
I identify with the darkness and the anger and the...
Yeah, but you're all into humans. What's so great about people, Hallie?
Well, I know what you mean. I mean, people can be so frustrating. I'm really working right now on trying to really have a positive attitude because my default is just negative and hate everything, but that doesn't help me at all.
Max, she's doing her projects. She's hanging out with Ben Stiller.
I know. She's an awesome
yeah, he's right
She's working
here,
with Paul
actually.
Giamatti, Carol Kane.
He's playing
Come on.
with
Listen to me.
Like,
I'm utterly charmed by this woman. Do you understand? I'm just trying to crack her a little bit.
I was asking, I was like, where did the dating question come from? It seems to really come out of the blue. And the only thing that occurs to me is like, are you asking me out?
Well, I live on the West Coast and I'm married, so we're screwed.
We're so fucked because I was like, we're falling in love, and like I'll be the bright, shiny one, and he'll be the dark one. No,
Tom's asking you out.
Yeah.
Okay. No, that's flattering. I'm trying to think. Yeah, who's the pain? I don't know. I don't want to trash talk anyone.
All right. You can't even say my landlord's a dick. I mean, you need to say that.
Oh my God, landlord's so awesome, you guys.
Oh my God, my landlord is so great.
He's awesome. I
He
didn't think.
shits Godiva and pisses champagne.
Yeah. He's really great. He's
right.
Anyway,
Halley, thanks.
Yeah, thank you guys so much.
Thank you. You were so awesome, and
So
like
are
I
you.
said, yeah, it was a real treat, and I wish you the best of luck in the future, and hopefully maybe we'll get you back on sometime to talk about what's going on with you again.
All right, I would love to. Thanks. Have a great night, you guys.
Thank you, Halley.
Thanks so much,
Bye.
Halley.
Good night.
Bye, Halley.
All right, that was Halley Feiffer from The Squid and the Whale. And speaking of The Squid and the Whale, up next is our review, and the man to introduce the film is going to be Mr. Joe Christiana. Joe, get it done, my man.